According to my Spotify Wrapped, I listened to 60,285 minutes of metal and rock in 2025. That is 41 days of riffs, solos and screams, and I got a listening age of 18. And I'll explain later how the hell that happened and how you can also trick Spotify into thinking that you're a teenager just like me. But first, I'm picking my 6 best albums of 2025. And like last year, I'm doing it the Oscar style. 6 categories, 3 nominations each, and 1 winner. Welcome to the 2025 Metal and Rock Oscars. We're starting things up with hard rock, and the nominations are Alice Cooper, The Revenge of Alice Cooper. This is the first album with the original lineup for 51 years. They got Bob Ezrin back as the producer, and it's a total throwback to the early days of shock rock. Second nomination is Glenn Hughes with the album Chosen. He's often been called the voice of rock, and he is still howling and grooving just like it's 1974. And the third nomination is Don Airey with Push to the Edge. That's a keyboard-driven classic rock album with a very strong Deep Purple DNA. And the winner is The Revenge of Alice Cooper by Alice Cooper. Comebacks are often doomed to fail, but not this one. This album has a lot of great songs. It has killer swag, and what stood out for me is that it shines through that the band is actually having a lot of fun making this album, and that transmits to me because it always gets me in a good mood when I listen to it. We're upping the tempo a little bit and we're getting into thrash metal, and the winner in this category I totally didn't see coming, and the nominees are Hidden Intent, Australian thrashers with a punishing release that has all the elements that a great thrash metal album should have. Testament with Bellum. This album has all of the band's usual elements, but it's mixed with some very adventurous flavors. And the third nominee is Coroner with Dissonance Theory. Those Swiss thrash gods came back angry as hell with their first album since 1993. And the winner is Coroner with Dissonance Theory. This album is a dense, intense ride that just doesn't waste a second. So if you like clinical, technical riffs that actually stick, this is the album to blast. So from thrash metal we go to more kind of traditional classic heavy metal. And the nominees are Helloween with Giants and Monsters. It's their 17th studio release and their second album after the big reunion. This is actually an album that proves that there is plenty of creativity left in Helloween. The second nominee is Ambush with Evil in All Dimensions. This is this pure 80s heavy speed metal worship with twin leads, grand vocals and the works. This album is great from start to finish. And the third nomination is Castlerock with the Bestiary. This album just pulls you into some weird fantasy world that is controlled by the Rat Queen. And the winner for Best Heavy Metal Album of 2025 is Helloween with Giants and Monsters. This is one of the albums that I've played the most in 2025. This album is brave in the way that it evolves, but it also kind of protects the elements that actually make Helloween, Helloween. By the way, if you're still awake, then you most likely are a metal nerd just like me, and if that's the case, then subscribe to my channel because that's the best therapy for your metal addiction. Let's get into the heavy stuff. We're talking about death metal here. This category I actually struggled with a lot because this year there were so many good albums. So narrowing that down to just 3 nominees feels like choosing which limb to cut off. The nominees for the best death metal album of 2025 are Sargator with Swarming Angels and Flies. Black and death thrash metal performed by a bunch of youngsters is razor sharp and stupidly fun. And the second nomination is Lick with their album Necro. This is Swedish old school death metal with these perfect melodic leads. And the third nomination is Arch Enemy with Blood Dynasty. I didn't really see this one becoming one of my most played albums of 2025. This album really hooked me in, and for quite a while. And the best death metal album of 2025 is Necro by Lick. This album is a straight up masterclass in Swedish death metal. Every riff is a buzzsaw and every melody sticks. And when this hits my ear, I travel back in time and I headbang like it's the 90s. So now it's time for the wildcards, the albums that don't really fit anywhere, but I really like them. But first, how on earth, how does an old metalhead like me get a listening age of 18 years on Spotify Wrapped? The answer is my new Metal Rock Weekly playlist on Spotify. I update it every Friday with all brand new releases, and that playlist has all the old bands, but also a bunch of new bands that you won't find on any other playlist. And because I listen to their playlist all the time, Spotify actually thinks that I'm a youngster. So if you want to keep your ears young and full Spotify, then subscribe to my playlist. There's a link in the first comment below. But let's get back to the Misfits, and the nominations for the best alternative albums in 2025 are Paradise Lost with Ascension. This is their 17th studio album and a return to their heyday according to some. Avatar, Don't Go in the Forest. This is carnival metal madness. Huge sticky choruses and theatrical as hell. Judicator with the album Concord. This is this big, bright, emotional power metal that just feels alternative and proggy in the best possible way. And the winner of the best alternative album of 2025 is Ascension by Paradise Lost. It's 35 years in and they dropped one of their heaviest and hookiest album ever. And I would definitely rank this amongst their best work ever. 2025 had a lot of good black metal coming out. I actually had 12 albums to pick from, but here are my 3 nominees. Hate with Bellum Breakings. This is cinematic, savage war metal straight out of Poland. Helloween with Tavastland. This is majestic, epic pagan glory drenched in blackness. Black Braid with Black Braid 3. This album just proves that Black Braid are one of the most special bands in black metal these days. And the best black metal album of 2025 is Tavastland by Helloween. I'm a total sucker for majestic, epic albums, and this one just hits me in all the right spots. The vocals, the guitars, the melodies and the soundscape. It just sucks you in and then gives you a pagan slap in the face. And that's not bad for a band that I didn't know existed at the beginning of this year. So there you have it, my 6 best albums of 2025. Tell me in the comments what were your best albums this year. And then check up here, 7 worst concerts in 2025 and 10 best concerts. And I saw over 200 bands, so maybe your favorite band is in there.